So I'm like, okay, that helped me a lot too, because I know that I've gone forward in life, I've gone back in life, I've gone in the future, the past. Some of it's static. So okay, I'm like, okay, I could go with that. I'm in another dimension. Like this morning, I dreamed about my ex, my man that passed, Bill. And so in this dream, well, even the day before that, I had dreamed like it was a huge tree, like the biggest tree you've ever seen. And there were these kids and they were happy. They were swinging from the tree. And I was down below. There was a huge root system. And I was looking up them past the dirt. And these kids were just like playing. And like when the swing would come close to the ground, they would get scared. And then, they would swing, but they were playing and happy. And I was just looking up and it was like I saw the tree of life, like the top part in the root system. And I could see through the ground, and then there was just a straight line with some grass. I mean, the tree was like enormous. Like it was like tall, tall, tall building size. The tree was enormous, and the kids were playing in the tree. That's just a part of that dream from the other day. But this morning, I dreamed about my man Bill, and we were out at a movie or a show or something, and I was just happy. Every time I dream about him, I'm happy to see him again. And then I saw these two big trucks. Dig, what was the color? 'Cause there's always, oh, the color was kind of like a rust orange color. Anyway, and I was feeling jealous feelings, like other women were around, and I was just like, I wish they'd leave him alone. And he was a mess. Anybody that knew Still Bill, he was a mess. So he used to be a pimp. He said before I met him. So it was only one Still Bill, I'm telling you. I loved me some Still Bill though. He was something else. But anyway, in the dream, we were watching a movie or a concert or something, and he had left and came back. He was snuggling up to me, and we left the event, and there was like two trucks, like semi trucks or something. One of them was like a gray color, but when we left, we went on our truck. There was this nice looking lady standing there. She's the one who had on like the rust outfit, and he was like, "Damn, she fine." It was a thing with him because like we weren't married, so because of the way he grew up in the pimp game, you know, he just like, bitch, you don't follow none of the rules. He wouldn't want me to meet none of his pimp friends because he wasn't pimping me. He was trying to change his life. He was from a pimp to a hustler. You know. Okay, it's a long story, but anyway, when he see attractive woman, I mean, he would literally stop in his tracks, and look the lady up and down from head to toe, whether I'm with him or not. He just didn't care, and would just look her up and down and go like, he was a mess. But that was just him. So at any rate, in this dream, this lady was standing there in that outfit, and I was just so upset. I was like, "Oh, you kill me doing that shit." You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, okay, if this is another dimension, but yet it's the same. Like I'm feeling the same feelings I felt when you were here. You know, um, you're doing the same things. I'm like, so how is that a different dimension? It's like the same, but I'm here and he's there. I don't know. But in one video I watched yesterday, Brother Sanchez, he was like, how to lucid dream. He was like, some people pinch themselves once an hour for a long time. And so that way when they're dreaming, they'll pinch themselves in the dream, and I guess it reminds you to wake up in the dream. Like they say, pinch yourself so you wake up, but I guess it pinch yourself to realize that you're in the dream. So you keep pinching yourself once an hour, saying you're in a dream, I guess. He really didn't go into it deeply. Then he also said you can like your tattoo, notice your tattoo, and then that can wake you up and help you to start lucid dreaming to where you can ask questions and participate. And that is the point that I need help with, because that's definitely the point that I haven't gotten to. I don't, it's like I'm observing, um, but I don't always feel like the choices I make or the things that I say are in my control from my awoke life to that dream life. So, um, yeah. Still Bill, that's my, well, I miss Still Bill. Nobody, I was with him for 7 years. Nobody understood. Like, I loved him. Like, I'm telling you, I loved him. I'm serious. And he was so mentally abusive. Like, and I still say that I loved him. He was so mentally abusive. I had never, we even got in a fight. One time he put his hands on me in 7 years. He actually, like, my nose is actually not all the way straight anymore. One time we got in a fight. But, I mean, why do women put up with that? You know, and I still love him, you know. And then that got me to thinking, like, now when I meditate on the mother goddess, you know, I need more women in my life. Like women that are awoke and women that just naturally support each other. You don't let the men play the mind games. Where is the group like that? You know, like, because I've had so many women just not like me. If it's not because of my hair, it's because, you know, they notice other men are attracted to me and looking at me, you know, like, and so I had developed in my mind, you know, fuck women, you know, like, if they don't like me, I don't like them. I'm not going to keep on reaching out to all these different, you know, black women, and they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? They really don't like me. Too many of them. Or if they do, you know, they don't want to be around me much because I guess maybe they start feeling those kind of feelings, you know. So our relationship is like at a arm's length, you know, all that done by men. And then I didn't like the white part of me. You know, look at what white people have done. And that's why it resonates with me what Brother Sanchez says about how there are the black elite and the white elite, but they're together, but they keep us separated and arguing and hating each other to keep our focus off of the mother goddess, to keep our focus off of our natural energy. That makes sense. You know, like that makes sense to me, you know? And so long, you know, I chose to stay away from white people. Like all of them can't be bad. You know, all of them can't feel that way. They have to be having the same struggles as black people inside. They have to be. It takes a lot of energy to, you know, it's just like back in, you know, I have friends, you know, back in those days, short period of time, you know, trying to do escorting. You know, like my one of my old friend girls that we're no longer friends, but you know, she would take clients, you know, the men would want her to like beat them or piss or shit on them or something like that. And so I had one guy friend, not for escorting, but I had one. I never did no clients like that, but I had one guy friend that I still talk to today. He knows who he is, and he used to want me to choke him or slap him during sex and like be serious with it. And I tried it, and it was just like draining me, like the energy that it took, because that's not in my nature, to harm somebody, whether I'm, you know, I mean, he wanted it, so I did it. It was fun, but like to have to do that every day to somebody. So where I'm going with this is like for the slaveholders, there had to been some that like they were just going along with society, but that wasn't in their hearts. And so then you would get the ones that would secretly help. Those are probably the ones that would secretly help the slaves, because that takes a lot of energy. I mean, especially, I just can't imagine, you know. And then if they don't beat you, or if they don't do this or they don't do that, you got this whole community surrounding you. They were probably afraid, like, okay, I have to do what everybody else is doing. That's the same thing with today. That's kind of like the same thing that's happened with Black consciousness. Like, okay, I have to hate white people. I have to prescribe to Amun Ra or Isis. I have to worship our ancestors. I have to worship these Kemetic Black gods, or all these Black people around me. They're not going to like me. They're not going to accept me, even though secretly in my heart and my mind, I don't believe in this crap, but I have to participate in it. So there are situations, you know, there's countless situations, people that are like stand by, even I can even say with George Floyd, like, look at what happened to him in front of so many people and nobody stopped it. Did that mean that all those people agreed? No, they were afraid. They were afraid. I mean, can you imagine what would have happened to the person that was standing next to the guy that was videoing? If he would have ran up on that officer and pushed him up off of him, he would have got killed. Those other officers that stood by and watched it, they probably would have shot him. Like, so it can happen. It can happen to where there were white people back in slavery that participated because that's what they had to do to survive themselves at that time. You have to put things in perspective. And then the thing that I tell my son about, don't let white people talk about other Black people, because you're harming yourself subconsciously by believing that. Like when they tell you you're the only one, when they tell you you're not like other Black people, you are harming yourself subconsciously. And I was just here recently participating, not even recently, for a long time, harming myself subconsciously because my DNA is half Caucasian. I mean, I just made a video last week telling people, like other Africans, like we're actually strong because we have a different mixture. I have like 4 or 5 different African bloodlines in my blood, so that makes me strong. When I should have said, I have so many different bloodlines in me, white and African. That's what makes me strong. Irish, Finland, Norway, Britain, I forgot, Nigeria, Cameroon, Benin, Togo, Mali, um, That's what makes me strong. It doesn't make me mixed. It doesn't make me diluted. It doesn't make me weak, you know? But what did make me weak and mixed up was the propaganda that I've grown up around all my life, believing and self-harming mentally and physically, believing all this bullshit that everybody around me, black people, white people, the news, the government, your community, the larger society you live in, the television, the different religions, you know, that's what has me mixed up, not my blood. I'm not mixed. I am a solid human being made by, come out of the womb. Come out of the womb. All put together perfectly, And I should not have to pretend that I don't like a half of myself. Because that is harming myself subconsciously.
She came onto the country shores
as if she were 100-year storm. Most would heed the warning in time, take shelter, before even catching the enticing smell of the beautiful coming rain. A few godlike men, yet untamed by Mother Nature, would embrace the strong, somehow comforting change of winds. Allow themselves to take up the treasures revealed, left behind her impassioned path. Knowing her omnipresence is in the same nature of themselves, which called unto the storm.